Hello everybody and welcome back to Rebellious Menstruation. This video is, I think it's about 14 or 15 minutes and it's on the Bibbulmun track. We did this trek and it was just an overnighter from the northern terminus, which is in Kalamunda, which is literally across the road from like a Coles, and you kind of walk about 150 minutes on a track to get like a road to get onto the track, all the past houses and stuff. It's quite interesting. We did this last weekend. It's just taken me this long to get all the kind of footage together and to then do it. I will be doing a video on the stuff that I took, my gear that I took. We were out doing this to test our gear. The person that you're going to see in these videos is actually my friend. She's walking up ahead of me, and we went to Hewitt's Hill campsite. Up on the Bibbulmun track in Kalamunda is there's a lot of kind of tracks where you can do 12, 13, 14 day hikes, like day hikes essentially, to do an overnight and then go back, which is what we did. The Hewitt's Hill campsite that we stayed at overnight is about 2.5k in from a cafe. So even though we'd walked kind of the 10k to the cafe and then 2.5k on the other side of that, we still we stopped in for a drink and then a cold drink and then kept going. But this is not usual necessarily always for the Bibbulmun. It's just because we essentially this northern terminus part of the track is in like a forest on the edge of city, on the edge of Perth. Excuse if you hear snoring in the background. The dog is snoring in the background. He finally has fallen asleep for the night. It's okay. He'll be up at midnight as probably usual. The reason I've taken the sound out of this video and am recording over the top, I actually think I've uploaded accidentally a recording to the channel without any voiceover, but that's okay. The reason I've removed this is that we were talking about sensitive topics related to work, and those can't obviously be publicly available. But you know, it was okay. We were walking in a forest. The first probably 8 or 9 minutes is from the morning of the first day. I did forget to film when we got into Hewitt's Hill campsite. I believe I did post some photos on Instagram, and I can't remember if I took actually a photo of the tent, because by the time we got there I was a little bit like, waves, just give me some food. I do want to do the end-to-end next year of the Bibbulmun, which is Albany to Perth, this Kalamunda section. It's a bit over 1,000 kilometres. It has been done in 30 days and people do it in 30 days. I am certainly not of that fitness level, and I am certainly not in a rush to do that in 30 days. I am not competing with anybody else to do this. We are planning 8 weeks, and you get kind of a bit less stress when you plan it to go at least a little bit longer than 30 days. I've done a few videos today for the channel, and they will be going up this week. And this is why I usually actually write down what I'm going to say, so there is much less needless chatter in there, or silence. But I just realised that I'd not recorded an audio for this, and so I'm going to have to wing it. A lot of the footage that you're seeing will be of burnt out trees. They would have done a burn off at some point. We are coming into summer in Australia, and that means that mostly the country will set itself on fire. A couple of years ago, 5 or 6 maybe, at one point we had part of the country was flooding, part of the country was on fire, part of the country which never snows was snowing, and it was a little bit of an insane, and I think there was probably a cyclone coming, like all of the weather that had happened was happening. And it's probably a bit of a problem being a continent, is just that it can hit anywhere across the country. However, this is coming out of winter, which means things are a bit greener. You'll see a lot of flowers in here. There were quite a few bees and marsh flies out, and it was quite warm when we did this, but dropped quite sharply at night. But then again, it wasn't freezing. We did the Bailey Nut Medieval Festival, which was a little while ago, and it got down to -1 at night. It certainly did not get down that cold this time. The tent I used is a tent that sets up. It's about 1 kilo, the tent, and it sets up with trekking poles. I set it up quite efficiently in the backyard, but the ground at the campsite is really, really rocky and really, really hard. And it seems that would most likely be how a lot of the campsites are along the Bibbulmun, which is actually a maintained track. And each of the campsites has a little hut and a drop toilet and a water tank. But we set up our tents in one of the little camps. Like, they have like a little clearings throughout the section. It was very hard and very rocky, so I may have to go to a freestanding tent with poles. I'm not too sure. I haven't decided yet. But either way, this is Kalamunda to Hewitt's Hill track. Here is some of the video. I very rarely have found much video on YouTube regarding the Bibbulmun track. I will link the organisation down below, so you can go and check them out. But I think I've seen one video about the Bibbulmun, and that was from I can't remember which country they were from, but they were hikers and they did fly here specifically to do the Bibbulmun track. It is recommended that you do not do it in summer, which is what we're leading into, which is really the November, December, January, February. If you are not from Australia, you may not know how many snakes we have here, and also that it's very hot in summer, and there are also lots and lots of bugs. So we're in the south of Australia, which means it rains in winter, which is very weird, instead of in summer, which is more normal. But anyway, therefore, my point being that don't hike this track. If you want to come and do this track, or you're looking at doing this track, do not do it in summer. It is a very bad idea. Do it in spring or autumn. Are the better times to do it, when the weather is at a more temperate volume, or a temperate section for you to do this in. Outside of that, this it was a good day to film walking part of the Bibbulmun track along. It was also quite a temperate night to actually camp out at Hewitt's Hill, being that it wasn't that cold. It did get a little bit chilly. My sleeping bag is not the warmest, but I did have a liner, and the only thing that was probably the worst thing that I had was the pillow. That was super frustrating. because it just kept on slipping out from underneath my head. Outside of that, the walking was fine. I did get one blister, which was unusual because I've used these shoes before, and the shoes were usually fine, and I'd broken in the shoes and done all that type of stuff with the shoes, which is usually definitely what's recommended before you go hiking. But still, it seems a little bit annoying. I also dehydrated myself, which was a bit stupid considering I knew that I was walking, a significant amount of time, and therefore should have accounted for that and drank more water. I usually drink about 3 to 4 litres a day, and I work in an office, so I had to have at least drank that much. And I did drink that much on the trail, but I probably should have upped it by a litre just because I was also walking. But outside of that, lessons learnt. It's always a continual fight with these types of things to get your weight, your base weight on your pack down, and gear that actually works for you. I'm not sure my sleeping pad really works. Again, the tent was hard to set up in rocky ground. Maybe that's just because I'm not as familiar with the tent yet. I have used a bivvy before, but that's like sleeping in a coffin, and I won't be doing that again. And also they're useless to actually do anything with bivvies, so I would be looking at least a 2-person hiking tent. I want to keep it around 1 kilo, which was actually what was really, really good about this trekking pole tent. But I guess we can't have everything that we want. So this video is going to replace the video that I think I uploaded just before, which was silent. But that's okay. That's what happens sometimes. I was doing 3 other things at the same time, and just uploaded the wrong video, or forgot to commentate audio, at least what we were doing. So even you can see amongst all the black trees is quite a good bit of green foliage. There was quite a good breeze by the afternoon, so it was cooling down. As soon as we pulled into campsite, I put on a jacket though, just because I didn't want to get too cold outside of that. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your morning, afternoon or evening, and I, of course, will catch up with all of you in the next posts coming up. Any questions, ask down below. Go check out the Bibbulmun Track Foundation. There are volunteer positions available that if you are a hiker, you can help maintain the track. Outside of that, there is a bit of footage left that will be silent. However, that's okay. Most of it has now been covered by my inane ramblings about weird stuff that we're not going to change now. This is just what you're going to get. Again, thanks for watching, everybody. Enjoy your morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where you are in the day. And I will catch up with you all in the next video. Bye, everyone.